So first is the dancing Israelis. The claim that 5 young Israeli workers for a New Jersey moving company were seen celebrating and filming the burning towers on 9/11, then detained, suggesting possible implications that they might have known about it. They were arrested, they were questioned, they were ultimately released.
For 2 months, they were in
So, and here are headlines going back, including by Haaretz, which is an Israeli news outlet, that they were questioned for their puzzling behavior. The 5 were expected to be deported sometime soon. Is all archived news footage. So anyone saying the claims of dancing Israelis are false is being deliberately obtuse.
They were there. They were acting suspiciously. They were detained. The explanation is that they were detained on visa issues and not on terrorism issues. They were subsequently deported back to Israel.
Yeah. And there
was something going on. I'm sorry. There was something going on the floor where they said there was some business that had some.
Oh, I'll get to that. That's a separate issue, but similar. This is an ABC News report from 2002 about the events of the dancing Israeli incident.
It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey. She noticed 3 men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy. They didn't look shocked to me. They didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men. All 5, it turns out, were Israeli.
Weird.
They were turned over to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence. At the FBI, that set off alarm bells. The FBI needed the answers to 3 important questions. Who were these men? What brought them to that parking lot on the morning of September 11th? And did they have any advanced knowledge of what was going to happen that day? They said they worked for a company called Urban Moving. The FBI obtained a search warrant for the company's offices.
2 SUVs were filled up with between 9 and 12 boxes and computers.
Not long after the arrests, the offices of Urban Moving were simply abandoned. Almost everything was left behind.
Well, that's because they're hiring
In jail,
illegals.
the 5 Israelis were repeatedly interrogated and given lie detector tests. Stephen Gordon was their American lawyer.
They were asked questions if they had ever been approached by or hired by any non-United States intelligence community.
While there is still some debate among American intelligence officials, many investigators believe some of the men were part of an Israeli operation aimed at monitoring radical Islamic charities that support groups like Hamas, something lawyers for the 5 men and the Israeli government strongly deny.
Look, watch this. That guy in the middle, I don't trust at all.
Is that one of the guys?
Yeah.
At that point, we were taken for another round of questioning,
these are them. Okay.
this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
Adad Elanach.
The fact of the matter is we are coming from a country that experiences terror daily.
That's a good
Our
excuse.
purpose was to document the event.
Wait,
Our
pause it.
purpose
Yep.
was to
Oh, that's the end of the video.
document
Our
event.
purpose was to document the event. I don't know about the rest of you guys, Freudian slip. When I'm going to an event, concert, music, soccer, whatever, it's an event. I'm going to the event. How did he know event was happening?
It could be the translation, but I will steel man the conspiracy theory
What?
that if there was advanced knowledge and it was a let it happen on purpose, that explanation, we experience terrorism on the daily. If a massive radical Islamic attack occurs in the West, they might take out Iran, they might take out Iraq, and the West will know the terror that Israel lives with, and then jump on board with
here's an ABC News report that accompanied that in 2002, where it talks about the arrest. The arresting officer said they saw a lot that aroused their suspicion about the men. One of the passengers had $4,700 in cash hidden in his sock. Another was carrying 2 foreign passports. A box cutter was found in the van.
Yeah, the 2 passports is
the 5 men identified themselves
sus.
as Israeli citizens. And then we continue on. When they were arrested, they told the officers, "We are Israeli. We are not your problem. Your problems are our problems. The Palestinians are the problem." So, same talking point that they've been getting at here.
But if you think about it, the world trade's on fire or they've fallen. What are 5 Israelis dancing and celebrating about? Then they leave in a van, which how more sus can you get? Then they have $4,700 tucked in your sock, and then the moving company is like a shill. It's a front. Everything gets disappeared and wiped out, and then you're back to your country. It's almost as if they were like they wanted to make sure everything went to plan.
And back to Viva's point about what he was saying about there being other connections as well. There's a separate but related claim about Israeli art students that in 2000 and 2001, a group of young Israelis claiming to be art students tried to enter federal buildings and approach DEA and FBI personnel, and some believe this was connected to some sort of spy ring. And they also tried to gain access to various parts of the World Trade Center. And this is, where they start to think, did Israel carry out an attack on the United States? But what's probably far more likely is that, like you said, if it's a collaboration between multiple intelligence agencies, the United States and the Mossad would definitely be involved in it together. Which leads us to the Saudi connection to conclude.
The Saudis who flew out of the country.
This is our final point, because I think this is the third leg of the conspiracy here.
But can we just really, really quick, like, again, going back to the evil and what these people in the military-industrial complex with other countries as well, is it so far-fetched that these people would do this plan with all this misdirection and all these what-ifs to knock down the world trade, to go to Iraq, to go to Syria, to go to all the... Afghanistan, is that far-fetched? I don't think it is.
Because who hates all of those places the most?
The United States,
the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia.
Period.
The Saudis and the Iranians hate each other.
Go for it.
And that is a well-known fact. They are their biggest regional rivals. So if you can get those three governments to put aside their differences and work together to get the most powerful military in the Western world to spend the next 25 years fighting wars in the Middle East again. So one of the main points of the Saudi connection is the fact that 15 of the 19 9/11 hijackers were all Saudi nationals. Here are all their photos. Everyone circled in red is Saudi. And the ones who aren't circled are some of the masterminds who helped organize the entire thing. Mohammed Atta,
he was
for
Egyptian,
example,
if I'm not
was Egyptian.
mistaken.
And then there were people from Lebanon and a few other places. But the bulk of the hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, which is why we immediately invaded Afghanistan as payback.
And there's a recent lawsuit now where the victims of 9/11 were authorized to sue Saudi Arabia because a couple of them were actually Saudi state employees.
And when we talk about how the government has covered up things to do with 9/11, the 9/11 files that Trump promised us that he has not yet delivered on at all, that's what the evidence of the cover-up seems to be. Not that they were hiding their own involvement, not that they were hiding Israeli involvement, but that basically from minute one, people suspected Saudi nationals and the Saudi government of being involved in this. And we were misled about that for the entire time.
And they were the Saudis, bunch of Saudis flown out of the country on 9/11 itself.
Exactly.
Despite the no-fly ban.
So now with these lawsuits unfolding, I have some of the details here. If you give me a moment, I'll flip to discussing them. We have seen how this situation has played out for the United States since then. What have we gotten? We've gotten TSA, we've gotten the Patriot Act, we've gotten mass digital surveillance, we've gotten 24 years of endless foreign wars in a godforsaken desert on the other side of the planet.
And only killed less than 3,000 people. Yeah. That's worth it for them.
And you look at the problems that it has exported to Europe, to the rest of the Middle East, to our own shores. Mass migration. And at every stage, we have enabled worse and worse people to take over. We have caused chaos. We have inflicted horrible harm to our own citizens with things like digital surveillance, where the NSA, remember the big scandals with that, where it was revealed they were spying on citizens. Whatever came of that? Whoever went to jail over it?
Nobody.
I mean, Julian Assange went to jail in prison, or in France.
Yeah, to leave.
But yeah, the lawsuits proceeding against the Saudis have been ongoing since 2002. And just now, a court said that they actually can sue the government. So that is a big win for them and hopefully leads to some actual truth there. But I think that is the end of our time. And of course, we've only scratched the surface on some of these theories. But, we'll probably have another 24 years to talk about it before we get any kind of answers.